So if they can perform their dribbling and their passing with the precision you need without making those errors, now we move on to the decision part of it. And are they able to read situations? Are they recognizing what's in front of them? Is it a zone? Is it a man-to-man defense? Those sort of things. And when they can start to recognize that, they've got the skill to back it up. Now the decision-making part becomes even bigger for them. So reading and reacting. And in this, it's important for you to recognize that you're expecting some errors at this point. With the precision, we don't want the errors. That's the drills they go through. That's being able to dribble down the floor in the fast break and not kick it off your foot, things like that. But when it comes to the decisions, this is a messy process. And decisions are things that you've got to walk your point guard through, and you've got to talk and you've got to communicate with them at a pretty high level and pretty consistently. Now, one thing that I do a lot of times is I will stop my point guards, and maybe they didn't do anything wrong. They came down, they made the right pass, and I'll say, why'd you make the pass? And they have to explain to me what it is that they saw or what they thought was going to happen that made them make that decision. I want them to think through the process of it. So I don't think that when we get to this decision-making part, that's something that you've got to talk to them about, because when you get into a game, here's what happens is the point guard's out there on the floor, depending on your fans, depending on the circumstances, maybe they don't hear you, or you're just a coach, you're like me, where you don't call out a ton of plays, you leave it up to that point guard on the floor. Is if you haven't talked to them in practice, they may not be confident in knowing what you want, first off. But the other thing is, if you fly off the handle after they make a poor decision or after they do something different than you wanted them to, what are they going to be like the next time they step on the floor? Well, I want them to be comfortable with that in practice when we're running our 5-on-5, when we've got, we're playing to 10 or whatever, and there's a little bit of tension, but it's not like a game yet. We're starting to train them. We're starting to grow them so that they're used to that in game time situations. If you don't have those conversations and don't get to see what they're thinking, and they don't get to see what you're thinking, what's going to happen is they'll make mistakes. You get after them, they lose their confidence. And now all of a sudden you've got to start those building blocks all over.